Greetings of the day. I am going to discuss on maritime frauds in insurance sector. This is a This is a part of training program for cargo loss assessment, adjustment, underwriting, and recoveries. Basically, whenever there is a fraud in marine, in cargo transit, in transportation, the claim is lodged with insurance company. I'll give you two examples which once I was appointed by one of the lawyer from Singapore, and he said that the Singapore customs, it is a duty-free port, but they got some tips. And when they opened the container, the manifested quantity was Indian shirts costing around $100 or $150 per shirt. Now this must be expensive. This is $100 a shirt is very, very expensive shirts. Normally, even the brands like Raymond or whatever it is, in India, it is not costing to the tune of $100 or something like that. So they had a doubt, and when they have seen the shirts, they were all fashion street type shirts. Insignificant cost like $1, $1.50, or $2, but definitely not in the tune of $100 or $150. When I was asked to carry out investigation in India, naturally I have taken the address of exporter, contacted him and visited his office. It was a very small cubicle, say by 6 feet by 6 feet, one table, one chair, and one locker. The moment I entered, he said, "Look, our intention was never to get a claim from the insurance company. We have lodged a claim because custom, they have opened our container and they found there are shirts which is not having value as per the invoice." Now, basically, he told me, he confessed, that he is into duty drawback scam. Because the government of India used to give export incentive and they used to give a drawback, duty drawback. So that was their basically claim. I have seen similar type of thing in Indira Gandhi International Airport. The 40 boxes were opened and they found loose earth. And then they were going at some machinery consignment. And then naturally, so there could be a claim, there could be a fraud with a switching over of the cargo from the customs point of view, from duty drawback point of view, and then cheating consignee or consigner, uh, customs, government of India. But whenever they are caught, they will definitely lodge a claim with insurance company. So whenever we see an unusual type of claim losses, there was one claim I was investigating, a software export. What was software? Which software they were exporting? Valuing 5 crore rupees. And then it was going as a floppy. Earlier, we used to have floppy disk. There nowadays you don't find CD, you don't find floppy at all. But then these floppies, they were exported and they reported as a loss, valuing 5 crore rupees. My first question was, it is an intellectual property, it is not lost this way. It is only the cost of floppies which has gone. But then when I have seen the exporter was a bricklayer, what we call mystery, bricklayer. Kadiya, in Gujarati we call it Kadiya. It is a bricklayer mystery. When I asked him that, you are exporting 5 crore rupees, he said, no, it's my partner who is doing all this job. So who is your partner? So he said that he is the owner of Saraswati Clearing and Forwarding, or some clearing agency. Then I realized, yes. So this was a classic fraud by clearing agent, by the development officer from the insurance company, and I have full doubt that the divisional manager of this particular insurance company was involved. The top brasses of this insurance company, they were briefed, and then this claim was stalled. To whom they have sold it? To a Reliance clearing forwarding agency in Singapore. There was no permission from the Reserve Bank, and it was a banking software, very insignificant, like signature verification, ledger, etc., which were available in the Indian market at 50,000 rupees. But then, such type of frauds are possible. Insurance fraud, whenever there is a claim, Whenever somebody is catching, custom is doing their duty properly, and when they are caught, when they are catching the culprits, they will lodge a claim indicating that there is a switchover, there is a skillful pilferage. And then that is the reason whenever there is an unusual claim, you should suspect maritime fraud and try to take the precautionary actions. So what is a definition of fraud? Basically, it is a unjustly or illegally obtaining a money or goods from another party connected in carriage of cargo. It is also, in other words, you can say non-disclosure of material fact. This is the illustrations. This my complete presentation is aimed to cover precautions, preventions, etc. You look at the executive triangle for the fraud. It is like that, self is supremo. Everybody thinks that, I'm the great person. Then he is after money, title, position, authority, perks, service. And then I'm better, I'm smarter, I'm more skilled, superior. This is the pride, greed. Then entitlement, I deserve. I'm working so much. I must have so much of money. I deserve so much. Authority, I must have services. So basically you try to understand, somebody is trying to offer a thing at cheaper rate than international market, at a very different type of non-customary methods of the market transactions. Definitely there is a fraud. There are many fly-by-night departmental stores I have seen. They offer refrigerators, air conditioners and televisions. Night time they just open a shop and they start selling, at 50% rates or 40% rates. And then initially maybe their investment, that particular items they are sold, they are selling it. They are giving it at 40%. When there is a big rush, they start taking say 25%, and then they start booking. They say that you will get after 3 days, you will get after 4 days, you will get after 8 days, and like that say after 10 days. And when they feel that yes, now they have collected a lot of funds, they just night time close the shop. Although the items are not there because they are waiting for items they used to claim, and then they used to run away. So this is a fraud because somebody is at greed. So somebody is having, he feel that, oh, I am getting a refrigerator at 30% and 40%. Initially few people they might get it, but subsequently the intention, it is only a bait. The intention is to extract money from the society at large. So this is the fraud. And as I said that whenever there is a maritime fraud, you should be in position to identify, and then there are certain precautionary measures one can take, and you should understand when you are settling a claim that how to combat with the fraud. So you should know, if at all there is a serious claim of a, and which is suspected it is a maritime fraud, then there are two organizations internationally they are combating with the maritime frauds. The one is International Chamber of Commerce. This is of International Maritime Bureau, and then second is FERIT. FERIT is Far East Regional Investigation Team. This was initially formed by Salvage Association. So these two organizations are combating. Whenever I know the public, at least the public sectors, they are the insurance companies in India. They are the member of ICC-IMB, ICC in a way. So whenever there is a fraud, when you suspect a fraud, which is of international in nature, then you should be contacting them because they have very good machinery of investigation, the data bank, master mariners, excellent contacts with the coast guards and governments, and they are really good. The contacts with DG shipping, and then they are always good for combating a maritime fraud. If you appoint a local surveyor, considering the stakes are so high, and if he is not having the proper connections with the government, etc., his life could be in danger. So whenever you feel there is a serious maritime fraud, the best way is to appoint ICC, International Maritime Bureau. You should be in position to find out different types of fraud. Which frauds are there? There are documentary frauds. The documents are fake. Bill of lading is fake. The vessel is not in existence. The invoices are fake and fake valued. So everything is fake. The sailor, he is also operating on mobile number and fake office address, etc. So this is all connected. This is the documentary frauds. Which is second type of fraud, which is a scuttling of the ship. That means you are making deliberate hole in the ship. This is also sometimes known as a rushed baskets fraud. Your intention is there is no cargo loaded. Maybe there are some sandbags or this type of cargo is loaded. It is posing as a very costly consignment like clothes and these type of things. And then the vessel is also insured heavily with the hull underwriters and hull and machinery, and then it is scuttled. That means there is a deliberate holes made in the vessel. The water entry is the sea water is gained in the vessel, and then vessel is lost to sea. Already there are arrangements that crew rescue arrangements are there, lifeboats are there. There is every possibility that some vessel is approaching from the rear side, and then they will pick up the crew, those who are sitting in the lifeboats. The third is phantom ship. This is also known as a paintbrush piracy. The vessel appears and vessel disappears. This is also, she takes the cargo and runs away. She is changing her identity, and maybe she is trying to unload cargo somewhere in war-lord countries, which is controlled by the mafias or the terrorist group or this type of people. They sell the cargo at different rates. Dictators, the nation which is controlled by military dictators, such places they can go unload cargo, take booty, because the dictator also wants the extra money for siphoning it out and keeping it in Swiss bank. So whenever he has to run away, he can be there, So there are many methods he is earning. One is this phantom ship, and which is a paintbrush piracy. Then there's a piracy, the actual at Somalian side, Nigeria side, Malacca Strait. There are a couple of places, You should know that the pirates were they are operating, and then there is a chances that they will board the vessel and they will ask for the ransom. So there are piracy. Then there are cargo thefts. The ICC International Chamber of the IMB is publishing the daily piracy reports. What is happening at Tuticorin, what is happening at Mumbai, what is happening at Colombo, Anchorage. The daily news you will get that what is happening. They will try to open container door, try to pilfer things from container door, and then the cargo thefts on highways are very common. So IMB is taking China, it is very common. India, it is very common. At various places, if you look at the Transparency Index of the world, which is published by Transparency International, you will come to know that lower the index, higher the chances of corruption and less transparency. So there you should know that such cargo thefts are possible on highways. In Western Express Highway, which is going from Bombay to Gujarat, at Ankleshwar Belt, there are chances of pilferage. At Kasara Ghat, there are chances of pilferage. Consignment going to Bihar, there are chances of pilferage. So there are various parameters for cargo thefts. And then this is a huge loss, pharmaceutical or certain atoms which is having which can be sold in a grey market, copper, metals, aluminium, and they are more susceptible for this type of thefts. Then there are, of course, there are frauds connected with charterers. The insurance company is not much concerned. The claim will not come to insurance company. Nevertheless, we should know about this type of fraud. There are different type of fraud which I am not going to discuss in this particular session because it is not directly related with the insurance. There are a bunkering frauds. They give a spurious, the inferior bunker. The air is pressed in along with the tank, along with the diesel. Then the- these type of, then uh, the blackmailing frauds. Whenever some crew is complaining against the ship owner, somebody will pose it as a government agency and they will try to blackmail ship owners. Then the job phishing. So there are different type of fraud which is not directly connected with the insurance industry, and that is the reason I am not going to discuss. These are the major frauds. Whenever such fraud is there, the claim is lodged with the insurance company, and I am going to discuss these frauds only. I just said that there are different type of frauds we come across in this maritime world, which is not directly connected with the insurance company. There are bunkering frauds, there are port related frauds, there are blackmailing frauds, there are cyber related frauds, there are fake job advertisements, then there is information phishing. But then these things are not seriously affecting the insurance company with a bunkering fraud. There was one supplier, one person was having a barge, and then the barge uh, crew, after 3 to 4 years, you can imagine a barge crew in 3 to 4 years in Mumbai, he has purchased a barge, and then he used to supply diesel to, I think, Indian Navy. I'm not sure about it now. And then he was caught because he was not giving diesel at all. He was having 2 trips and then something like that. But there are many methods of bunkering fraud. The quantity is adjusted, sometimes with the understanding with the tank farm where they are unloading. The barge will not be unloaded at all, and they will give the sign. Again, at the second trip, she will come and give the cargo. So there are various methods of fraud, which is a very skillful theft and pilferage. But then again, as I said, that 99% insurance company is never involved in these type of fraud. What is Who is defrauding whom? The shipper on the buyer. You see, there are many people connected in this trade. There is a buyer, there is a seller, there is a bank, there is a insurance company, there are custom, the government, there is stevedots, the clearing agent, surveyors. Many people are connected in this trade, import-export trade. And then any person, he can think of a fraud. The surveyors at their level can also play mischief. The customs from the point of duty payment part of it. And then there are various methods how custom can cheat, how the surveyor can play mischief, how the buyers and sellers can play mischief, what is the role of stevedots, what is the role of port superintendent. So all these things one person should know, because there are many people connected, and the buyer can cheat the shipper, the seller on the buyer, or both against the customs or government, they can have the fraud. The seller or the buyer or both against the carrier, the cargo owner against the insurance company, the fraudster against another company. So basically, there are three categories of insurance fraud. The one is claim fraud or a policy holder fraud. So basically, this is related to claim. My claim is 1 rupee, but I want 100 rupees from the insurance company. I came to know that there are some of the insured or some of the organizations in India, they are maintaining a ledger profit from the insurance company. So these are the policy holder fraud. Then there is a intermediary fraud where the brokers are involved, the agent is involved, the surveyors can be involved. So there are all intermediaries fraud. And then there is a internal fraud. The insurance company internally, which I just came to know at Surat somewhere. Somebody was making a false vouchers and false claims, etc. And that person, he had looted 3 crore rupees from the insurance. He is serving in insurance, maybe some officer. But then this is the internal fraud. As a surveyor, we don't get opportunity to have the investigation on internal fraud. But otherwise, different. I have come across. I was appointed by a couple of insurance companies to, investigate the loss, and then whether they were suspecting fraud, and we will of course discuss the matter. So there are various people connected in the trade, and there could be a fraud. There are various types of documentary fraud. What is that? The bill of lading is issued, but cargo not loaded on the vessel planned, which is planned for the scuttling. The foremost, this is going in hand to hand with the scuttling of vessel, rush basket fraud. It is actually not loaded, but the bills of lading is issued, and then the vessel is deliberately sunk. Then there is a advance bills of lading or shutout cargo. You see, basically what happens nowadays, it is compulsory to have a on bill of lading shipped on board stamp. Because earlier, whenever it was not having a shipped on board stamp, and see, it is like this that people used to issue bill of lading in advance. That means the vessel has not arrived, but then I have given a bill of lading to the exporter. He can negotiate his documents with the banks. He can get his money credited. Maybe then subsequently he is carting the goods. Now I have come across one of the fraud like this, that there was 1,000 bags which was short landed at somewhere in Russia. The claim was lodged and I was trying to investigate. So I asked him very simple thing that you please give me the all carting details of your the rice bags which has gone from Kandla. So he has given me carting details and 1,000 bags were less. So he said that see what has happened, that I carted, I have taken the advance bills of lading because that is the understanding with the Russian trade commissioner that there are no issues. I can have advance bills of lading. Now I have taken advance bills of lading. I have negotiated with the bankers. My money was credited. But what happened that my last few trucks, 1,000 bags, they were into 3 trucks or 4 trucks. Because of they were riots in Gujarat, they could not reach Kandla port, and then they were detained outside. But the vessel sailed out, having given a bill of lading of full quantity. There was no amendments to that. Naturally, at the unloading port, the chief officer or the master of the vessel might have given tips to stevedots, and they came to know that yes, 1,000 bags are short landed by the vessel. Of course, when I said that okay, you are not, this is the wrong thing what you did. In insurance industry, the advance bills of lading is always considered as a fraud. There could be shutout of cargo also, and then it is not informed to insurance company. But this then, if the bill of lading is issued and if the cargo is not loaded, it is shut out, it is not properly recorded, or it is not informed by client to insurance company, there could be a fraud for the short landing from the destination. So you have to understand this advance. Of course, nowadays advance bills of lading is a difficult thing. But then what I have seen, we were loading a castor oil for Russia, of course, and then I realized that where I was serving, the owner of my company, he used to increase the density of product. You see, we were having laboratories where I was serving. So that laboratory was analyzing, and X density was declared. We have to declare it to the vessel, and then vessel will also tell it at destination port, etc. With the density, we are trying to find out how much quantity is loaded on board. With volumetric analysis, we are trying to convert into tonnage. Owner of my company used to give 5% higher density. When I came to know, I asked my owner that said, don't you feel that we are doing something wrong? Then he said, no, this is with the very good understanding with the trade commissioner Prodington, because they are deducting 5% from the overall amount. So they deduct 5% and we are increasing the tonnage by 5%. So nobody is losing, nobody is gaining in the full process. But then this is the trade practice. You have to know, whether it is a buyer's market or seller's market. Because in buyer's market, the seller cannot play any mischief, and if it is a seller's market, the buyer will have to listen what seller is trying to tell. Then there is a, with inside information, fake bill of lading is submitted to clear the cargo promptly. The vessel has come, I know the cargo, but I know the inside, somebody from the shipping company, the vessel agent's company, I prepare a fake bill of lading, submit it to the company with which is accepting it, and then is allowing me to clear the cargo from the dock premises before arrival of a actual owner of that particular cargo. Then cargo is sold ex-jetty on fake documents. The fake documents are cleared and couple of trucks are already cleared. I am selling it ex-jetty, and by the time owner comes, already the cargo has sold on a fake documents. Then there is a deliberate overstatement of cargo ladder, which I have already explained that that the draft surveys are tampered, the alleged surveys are tampered, the tally sheets are tampered, and I am trying to give a overstatement of cargo loaded on board. Then there is a wrong or bogus lost overboard certificate issue. I was investigating one case of lost overboard certificate. You see, LOB certificate is always issued by master of the vessel. The vessel is issuing that certificate that during loading, couple of bags failed out, and then it is a payable. This is not excluded from scope of any insurance policy. I came across in Jamnagar, the vessel agents used to tell the Indian exporter that if you load cargo in my ship, you see, it was the Jamnagar, it is a tidal port, it is not loaded alongside. You have to go by barges, etc. So he is trying to tell that if you load cargo in my ship, I will give you 500 bags LOB certificate free. Now, that means that I will give you a LOB certificate, you go to insurance industry and they will pay your claim. So you should know, when such certificates are there, you try to look in proper perspective, try to find out who is the sailor, because all traders are not same, they have a different philosophy, there are different management philosophy, you should try to understand. So then there is a Trojan container, spurious cargo. The container is with the rifampicin, but instead of rifampicin, you will get the maize powder. It is a steel wires. Instead of that, you will get, instead of yarn, steel wire, you may get stones. So internally, the cargo is switched over. Instead of cashew, you will have some different atom only. The misdescription of cargo laden. The misdescription of cargo laden. Say, for example, there are a couple of grades. Now I have seen a fraud. That was for custom. Then there is a virgin grade PVC and there is a scrap grade PVC. So scrap grade PVC was attracting more custom duty than virgin grade PVC. So the price is different. The price is different. Naturally, the scrap grade is having less value but more duty. So scrap grade was imported on the pretext of it is a virgin grade. So that is the cheat duty, pay less duty, and then the higher amount you pay. So that is the way the amount is. The dollars are also siphoned out, and the black money generated in the full process. So these are various documentary frauds. You should be in position to understand, identify, and then definitely once you know this type of frauds can take place, you can always combat with that fraud. If you see the alphabets in cheating and teaching, they are same, only the placement is different. So whenever there is a cheating, it leads to teaching. You understand the things, that you should not do this one because this is a dangerous. This is the way you can be cheated in quality. This is the way you can be cheated in the quantity and how to take precautions. So you should know how it is, different type of frauds, the alleged fraud, the draft survey fraud, the various type of cargo quantity and quality frauds, and you should be in position to combat with that. Whenever you see, it is not necessary that every time they want to put up a larger claim with insurance company. I just said, it could be a payment of less duty, duty drawback, or various different reasons, monetary reason they want to cheating. But definitely somebody wants to make fast money by cheating someone else. So you should understand that if you are cheated, then you get the learning. This is also teaching. Look at the news which appear in the paper. I think this is the news from Times of India or something like that. 1 in 10 insurance claims turns out to be a fraud. Maybe this could be mediclaim frauds or the motor policy, automobile policy fraud. But then you should really understand there are various type of frauds are possible. If you may be a underwriter, you may be at the underwriting stage only you should see to it that there are no frauds. And that is the reason people say that the age of vessel should be less, the flag of vessel it should not be a flag of convenience, then it should have the classification society which is a member of international association of classification society. So there are then there is a ISM warranty. Various warranties are incorporated just to combat with the fraud. Then there is a loading unloading supervision. Then there are photographs required during stuffing and destuffing of cargo. All these things are required by insurance company. In a way, indirectly, they are trying to combat with the fraud. They are trying to minimize that. Yes, if there is third person who is already supervising, the chances of frauds are very, very less. I was appointed by United India Insurance Company. They reported that Jain Irrigation from Jalgaon, they imported 35 containers, around 800 tons of PVC from America. And when 5 containers were cleared and taken to Jalgaon, when they open the container, apparently the weight of bags are okay as per the manifested the cargo weight slip given inside container, but then it is all spurious material. There is a loose earth, then there is a sand, there is a stones, chalk powder, but there was no PVC. Now when I visited Jalgaon and seen, then they have given me the payment slip which was there inside each container. They were basically jumbo bags. Each bag is weighing around 1 ton. If it is filled with PVC, the manifested weight should have been 1 ton. But when I have seen the payment slip, there were 15 to 20 bags in each container, and the weight was given 1,500 kilo, 600 kilo, 800 kilo, 900 kilo, and the weight was different. It was not 1 ton. Normally, these bags are having, jumbo bags are having 1 ton capacity. It was nil mark. There was no marking. Second-hand bags were used. But when I have seen that the first point which stuck to me, that if it is a uniformly filled bags of PVC, why there is so much of weight difference? When we have seen the material, the bulk density of chalk powder is different, then the bulk density of sand and stones are different, the bulk density of loose earth is different, and that is the reason the weight of each bag, that means they have weighed the bags. And then they have prepared the weight slip, but they have not drawn the samples. It is only the bags they were checked and then it has stuffed in the container. Now we see when I was investigating, I came to know these 35 containers were loaded from America on 3 different ships. So let us have the combination of 1550 and 1515 5 containers, whatever is the combination. They were transshipped, all these 35 containers were transshipped at Hong Kong port. And at Hong Kong, another 3 ships, the daughter vessels, they picked up these containers, three different ships, and they came to Mumbai port. In Mumbai, they were placed at various places, and when they cleared these 5 containers, they found this spurious material. Then I said, let us check all the 30 balanced container in Mumbai port. And to our surprise, every container was having same problem. I informed insurance company that look, such pilferage is not possible on vessel because it is back to back. That is door to door containers are placed. At transshipment is also it is under surveillance, CCTV surveillance, etc. It is not possible in Bombay. Nobody will switch over. They can pilfer the entire consignment. Why they will bring some cargo and for switching it over? This is not the modus operandi of the Mumbai theft and pilferage. They will just take it. They will open the container, break the seal and take the bags. That's all. But it is not possible in all the 35 containers. I said that looking at the bags, I feel it is a pre-shipment origin loss because it is a different bulk density and the terms of sale is FOB. This is prior to attachment of the risk. The risk is attached as per rule of construction of policy, rule number 2, when ship moves out. So considering all these things, of course, the Jain Irrigation is not a small party. They also realize, I said, you are first time purchasing from this vendor. You have not checked his credentials. There was no cargo surveyor like HGS, etc. appointed for surveying and sampling analysis and stuffing of container. So basic precautions you have not taken. And this is a classic maritime fraud. They have filed a suit against that supplier. But then they have prima facie accepted what I'm trying to tell is correct. The United Indian Insurance Company was not happy. They have appointed Mr. J. Bashir as a second surveyor and he has taken his opinion. Based on my report, the J. Bashir also endorsed my report and he said, yes, what Mr. Gawarikar is telling is right. This claim was repudiated. But then this was also a classic fraud. The things were that he has sold a material at $50 lesser price than international market price. There was no loading supervisor. There was no basic precautions taken by Jain Irrigation, and then they have to face this the loss of 800 tons. Naturally, insurance company have repudiated, and instead of getting some material cheaper, they did not get anything at all. Scuttling of ship. I was appointed by National Insurance Company, HO Calcutta. The vessel's name was UPCO 3. The divisional manager at Mumbai, he was of the considered opinion that the UPCO 3 vessel is scuttled by the owner of the vessel. Now the story is something like this, that there was a first Iraq war was going on, no tankers were available, so the Mumbai based company imported, the name of company was some East India company or something like that. Eventually I was not knowing the ownership profile because the person, the logistic manager who used to visit, he never said that who is the real owner of this East India company. It turned out to be after 2-3 years of completion of this job, I was told by someone that this vessel, the company was belonging to one Mr. Telgi, a person with a very high contacts in the Maharashtra political circles, and then in stamp bogus stamps fraud, he was caught and put behind the bars. He was the owner of that company. This was what I told. Of course, I do not know about it. But then maybe the divisional manager was knowing about the ownership profile, etc. He said that this vessel is scuttled. When they were approaching Bombay. The pilot has called this UPCO 3 vessel to pilot station. When they were approaching pilot station, the captain of UPCO 3 was from Bangladesh. And crew were also mixed, Indian and Bangladesh crew. When they are approaching to pilot station and Bombay anchorage, this particular vessel, she grounded on a wreck. She drifted because there was a total failure of their steering system. She drifted and she grounded on a wreck, and then of course tugs were around this particular vessel. The Bangladesh master said, Bombay port and JNPT port, that allow me to come close to Bombay, I will ground my vessel I know the naphtha which is 3,000 tons in my vessel, I cannot save that one, but I can save my vessel. The Mumbai port and JNPT port said nothing doing. Please go back to sea. We are asking Coast Guard to provide a helicopter, and they will pick up all your crew members, because they were worried that if the naphtha slick comes to the shore, Sassoon Dock, where many wooden fishing boats are there, with some sparking, etc., there could be a huge fire, and which they were trying to avoid. So they said, please go back. When she has gone back, then she was lost to sea. The Coast Guard has taken photographs, etc. But then the divisional manager wrote me a letter. Initially, he said, you delay the report or something like that. I do not know what was his intention. Whatever it is, it's a commercial word. Then I said, I cannot delay the report because there is a lot of pressure from HO National Kolkata, and I have to submit the report. He has given me a mail informing that the vessel started the voyage from from Jebel Ali. The vessel has taken 3,000 tons of naphtha from Jebel Ali. Then she came to Al Queen. At Al Queen, she had changed the crew. There was a change of crew. She had also taken a fresh water. And this is the time, this is the story of divisional manager, that they have unloaded the cargo at anchorage at Al Queen, and then she she loaded with the water. She came to Mumbai, and then she has scuttled the vessel is scuttled. This was a very excellent story given by divisional manager of the insurance company. I said, no, sir, this is not correct. This is not a case of scuttling, because normally what all things you see for the scuttling, these are the parameters you should be checking to find out if the vessel is scuttled. What is that? The vessel should be 15 years and older. This particular UPCO 3, it is an old vessel. But the client informed insurance company, I am not getting tankers. This is a 22-year-old vessel, and she is having capacity of some 3,500 tons. And it is in a way, Jebel Ali to Mumbai is not a long distance. The people of the vessels of this size are plying. And then that time the overage premium was taken, and then the insurance company has permitted. So I said, I don't find any malified intention in bringing a old vessel when the tankers are not available because of Iraq war. Then the next question what we ask, who is owner of that property? What is the ownership profile? Is he a single owner? Is she a singleton? Because the vessels of shipping corporation, American President Line, Nippon Line, Merckx, they are not designed for scuttling. The owners, they are seriously in the trade. They don't want to, make money out of, it's only singleton. Singleton, you have to be very careful. So he said, do you know what is UPCO 3 name? How it has derived? It is Al Queen Petroleum Refinery. So UPCO 3 is coming from Al Queen Petroleum Company Limited or whatever it is, So this Al Queen Petroleum Refinery is owned by the Amir of this particular province, Al Queen, who is his father, who is a president of UAE. The earning capacity of the owner of Al Queen Refinery, it is only $10 million per day. This is not a profile for the scuttling of a vessel. He is having a fleet of vessels. He is having his own province. He is having his own refinery. He is having his own oil. Why should he scuttle a vessel which is coming? And then who has taken insurance? The insurance is taken by the Indian consignee. So what is the intention of scuttling vessel? And this vessel, of course, it was having it was not a classification society, but it was a good class. They were not a member of ISCS, but class was in this particular region. The class was okay. It was admitted an acceptable class. The deadweight tonnage is up to 10,000 tons. Yes, this was less than 10,000 tons. This is the requirement. These are Nobody is going to scuttle ULCC, ultra large crude carriers and very large crude carriers. The registration should be in tax haven country. This is registered in UAE. If my vessel, if I am a person who is the UAE national, I will have my vessel registered at UAE. And UAE is not a flag of convenience, or it is not a tax haven country in a way. So the registration is also okay. The flag, this is not having flag of convenience. Asian origin crew, yes, in this region, the American crew will not come, because what you get salary on this type of vessel, $2,000, $3,000. Just to get a $5,000 to $10,000 in America or Japan, it is not that difficult. They will not come in Indian market and sell on vessel to get $2,000-3,000 a salary. So Asian origin crew. So I said that looking at all this thing, ownership profile, and then the company thing, uh, the number of vessels the company is owning. This is not a case of scuttling. It is a genuine sinking because their steering has failed, which is also again. Then I said that the water theory. He said that they have taken water. Coast Guard from helicopter, they reported that the naphtha sheen has, they have seen floating naphtha 3 to 4 kilometers from the vessel backside. So I said that okay, it is 3 to 4, and then they said this is not going to pollute because naphtha evaporates. So it is not going to have serious problems on sea pollution. This is going to evaporate. Then I said that okay, if it is going 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer long, the width you can say it is around 100 meters to 200 meters, and the millimeter it is 1 millimeter. How much it is going to be in cubic meter if it is 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, and then 2 kilometer by 100 meters, 150 meters by 1 mm. So this is coming around 2,600, and then considering the density, this is coming around 2,600 tons. So this is not a case, and then the Coast Guard has given photograph that she's sinking. Then they are picking up the crew. I said this is not a case of scuttling of a vessel. This is genuine sinking. But then yes, when the vessel is scuttled, you try to find out these points. When you have doubt, you can always contact International Chamber of Commerce, and then they can have the further investigation. They have seen the crew abandoning vessel in suit with full bags and baggage. They are in suit, so they will come out, straightway go to airport and fly back to their own home country. But then these photographs, the IMB could get, and they have submitted to, I think it was New India Assurance Companies. They have excellent contacts. They have excellent contacts with the seafarers, the masters, the hoteliers, the bars and the brothels. They do have contact to find out, because people, they talk. When you have this number two money, people are spending more. So all these things, the ICC IMB is having well equipped facility to combat with these type of frauds. So if you suspect, you should contact them, give them job for but the preliminary basic analysis can be done by any of the Indian surveyor, including my company. This is classic maritime fraud, phantom ship or phantom truck. The trucks, you will find that they load the consignment and they run away. They change the number plate and run away. Similarly, the vessels are also changing the identity, changing there's a reason it is known as a paintbrush piracy. It is a mafias and the warlords, they are involved in this type of fraud. There was a vessel. The vessel name was Nan Hua. The Oriental Insurance Company asked me that you please help Bombay Merchant, because he has booked a cargo of 5,000 tons of stainless steel tubes from Thailand, Bangkok, which has not reached at all. It is more than 4 months. And now that owner is trying to tell that his vessel is having problems somewhere at Mangalore, and you please provide the tug. I contacted the Mangalore radio station, the port station, and they said, no, we don't have any distress signal from vessel Nanhua. Nobody is around. I told Bombay merchant that there is something fishy, and then such vessel is not around. What has happened that the Bombay merchant has gone to the factory in Thailand. They say if you purchase from my agent, you will get 15% discount, which our company cannot give. So he said, fine, I have no issues. So when he got a 15% discount, he was very happy. Then the trader, the merchant or the dealer of that company is telling that I have a vessel Nanhua. She is going for a funeral voyage to Alang. So why don't you book your cargo in this? That the rate going on is some $35 a ton, but this person is prepared to charge $8 a ton. It will be very cheaper thing, and please, hand over cargo to him at Bangkok. The Bombay merchant was very, very happy. When he has booked a cargo on that Nanhua vessel, photographs were taken, everyone was done, loading supervision was done. The vessel never came. The vessel never came. And then I told earlier that these type of frauds are not covered under our. Now it has changed. In 2009 clauses, now the innocent consignee is not harmed. Otherwise, earlier, as per the Marine Insurance Act, they say that what is covered is the voyage, and the intention was never to pursue this particular voyage, and that is the reason these type of frauds will not be payable. That time, this was discussed with the madam. Now she is heading RD. She has opened out the Lloyd's book and he said, yes, Gavarikar, what you are trying to say is correct. The vessel never came. They never appointed an agent. He was operating from Switzerland. He was operating on the vessel owner was operating on a mobile phone, and the vessel has gone. It was a total loss. The we said that try to find out some mistakes in bills of lading and you try to avoid payment. Exactly whether the Bombay merchant paid. Naturally, it was the insurance company said we are not meant to honor this particular claim. But then to find out about the phantom ship or phantom truck, again the basic parameters what we should see is the vessel is operating on fake certificates. The cargo is loaded and vessel never reaches her designated destination. The vessel cannot be traced as identity is immediately changed. The cargo is sold in war lot countries. Maybe earlier Mr. Prabhakaran was having that half part of Lanka, Sri Lanka. They were in Pakistan ruled by dictators. Still, even there is a what you call democracy, but then the democracy is having everybody is aware that it is the military who is controlling the Pakistan. So it is very easy, if somebody is having contacts with the military generals, and then every military general is having extra money for settling in Canada. So these type of places, it is very, very easy to have the siphoning out of this cargo. So you should know when such losses are there. Again, as I said, that the cargo can be traced, the cargo can be checked where it has been sold, the gangsters can be checked. This is possible with the International Chamber of Commerce, International Maritime Bureau. Piracy. This is also one of the maritime fraud. Piracy, the Somalia is the worst state. It is a failed state that clearly is unable to react. There is no government. The traders are only preparing the bill of lading or the bill of entry and what are documents. I have seen, because I was investigating one of the sailing vessel loss, which was lost to sea, but they were on route from Dubai to Somalia, some Somalian port. I forgot the name of that port. But the crew survived, and I was taking their deposition. So they were telling that for us there is no problem, because we take a diesel, 1 or 2 barrels of diesel, and when you give the diesel to the pirates at Somalian port, they get a full protection for their the sailing vessels, wooden sailing vessels, because they used to carry a lot of merchandise from Dubai, and while bringing it back, they used to come with the coal, the typical type of coal they were preparing it, that they wish to bring it. So Somalian is the place, the Gulf of Aden, From Gulf of Aden, the vessels which are coming out, they should come out with certain speed. And there are many escort. I have seen the Indian naval ships, Tabar was there, the Royal ships are there, the French naval ships are there, even Pakistan frigates are deployed to escort their own fleet, merchant vessel, when they are coming out of this Gulf of Aden. So it is a shipping choke point basically, which is bound by the failed states, Somalia, and the notorious haven for terrorist Aden. So these are the two places, that is the very worst thing. And that is the reason this particular place is considered, it is the chances of piracy at this place. You see, they want to have ransom. Of course, this is whenever there is a piracy and you are paying ransom, it is considered as a general average, and then it is contributed by the various interests on the particular cargo vessel and the fuel, etc. So what lessons we have to learn, that we suggest that the situation is disastrous for shipping events proving so. Of course, the Middle East is very, very important because of oil, and that is the reason you have to be there. But then there are escorts provided by the certain. There are a lot of precautions taken. There are certain anti-piracy alarms are fitted by ICC IMB. So once it is triggered, immediately the London people will come to know that there are issues, and then they will immediately inform nearby Coast Guard and try to help the particular vessel. Basically, the vessel owners and the insurance companies, they are aware of it. The choke point is Gulf of Aden is a choke point. Then there is, of course, Gulf of Oman is also having a choke point and problematic place, because in a way Somalian pirates can move around. They are right up to, they are very close to the Indian coast also. Our Lakshadweep Islands and this Maldives, etc., they are in the range of Somalian pirates. Then the Indonesia side, there is a state of Malacca. So these are the places where Indonesian pirates were, they are operative. So of course, in Nigeria, I have not shown here, but then there are Nigeria side also, there is a chances of piracy. So piracy also, you should understand, it is a loss. These pirates cannot do with the what you call a lot of cargo. Say PVC, what they will do with PVC? With the crude oil, what they will do with the crude oil? They are not interested in cargo, but then they are threatening the life of crew, and then uh, they try to harass them, beat them, hammer them, and then try to collect a lot of booty from the ransom. So you should understand the various intricacies and the choke points from this piracy point of view. Look at some of the photographs of the pirates. The Look at the weapons, rocket launchers, machine guns, the LMGs, all modern weapons they are having for, who is supplying them? Maybe more lots, and this is the way how they are procuring it. Uh, I just wanted to show, there are a couple of, if you try to find out on the internet, that pirate vessel sinking, etc., you will find a Russian vessel. See, once they see war lady, the pirates will not try to be around. It's only merchant vessel. The moment they see war lady, they know it is not their business, because then they start firing rockets and the guns and machine gun and various type of modern the ammunition, the warships they have. I have seen. There are a couple of here I cannot show you video, but there are a couple of videos are available, that the warship chasing pirate boats, and then they are firing on them and they are sinking the boats with instruction. The instructions are very clear. Sink the vessel, don't pick up the survivals. This is very, very clear. There is no mercy with the pirates, because they are the anti-trade, anti-nation. They are the low-profile people. You can get the full information on piracy from ICC IMB weekly piracy report. Every port, what is happening, which place is having problem, yesterday what has happened, everything, every information you will get from ICC weekly piracy report. So basically, pirates are group low life pirates. They want my wristwatch, but they will not take it like this. They will cut my hand and take it. These sophisticated organized gangs are not there in Indian waters. Although I have seen there is one island near Bombay, which is towards Spain side, or to, the name of island is Dadar. And I have seen the vessels entering with the pulses, the barges coming out with the pulses. These 10-15 fishing trawlers from this Dadar will go to the barges and try to pick up some cargo from them. This was reported to police stations, police, etc. But there were no serious attempts to, arrest this one. The Dharamtar channel also, the fishermen used to trouble the barges which is going inside. The sophisticated organized gangs otherwise not there. They may be there in building, construction, land dealing, the smuggling and politics, whatever it is. But they are not in the piracy in the Mumbai waters. Warlords, of course, India is not having any warlords. The Pakistan, it is possible. The Sri Lanka, when the terrorist was Prabhakaran was ruling. So, a couple of places where the dictators are there, the kings are there. There the chances of this piracy is possible. There has to be an installation of sea jack alarms. So when the sea jack alarms are installed in a ship, it is placed at couple of places in the ship. The moment there is a attempt to board the vessel by pirates, the alarms can be triggered, and then the ICC IMB office is manned for 24 hours. They will try to take immediate corrective actions. They will try to tell the nearby Coast Guard and try to help and render help to the vessel. Cargo thefts on highways. This is also very common features. The on highway, what we call on a Western Express highway, there are certain red light areas. What is red light area? On a dhaba, red light is hung. So that is the place they will try to tell the truck drivers that this is the place you can switch, you can sell your cargo. That is the indication. And then while going to take cargo, the driver will negotiate with these places. While coming back, he will try to pilfer he will sell the cargo and put a spurious material inside the container. The cargo thefts, the bill of lading is not signed by master. We can't say that this is a fraud. The agent can sign, it is legally allowed. But when there is a huge shortage, and if the master has not signed, somebody else has signed, definitely you can have the further probe. You can have the further investigation in the full process that why such thing has taken place. Why master is not signing. But then of course you can't say it is a fraud. Ship has stolen some cargo. Yes, ship can take some cargo. I was loading a castor oil. I was on board because people, Indian merchants, instead of sending castor oil, they used to send the tanker full of water. And just to have sampling and overseas everything, I was asked by owner of my company to be there. Yes, that time I was serving with one of the Bombay-based company. So night time the master came at about 12 o'clock and he said his wife, Russian master, he said his wife on ship is sick. I should go to Bombay hospital and purchase some medicines for her. I said, I'm a surveyor and doing this job and my owner will not appreciate. Nobody will appreciate if I leave my job, my duty place. He said, don't worry, surveyor, I am relieving you. When the master is relieving me, he is my reliever on board. Then looking at the humanitarian ground also, it is very close. It was a matter of half an hour or 1 hour. So I went to Bombay hospital from Yellowgate police station, purchased some medicines, gave it to master. The master was so happy with me. He said, okay, come with me. And he offered me a 51 jerrycan having 50 liters of wine. So I said, master, I cannot take this wine because Yellowgate police station is there, customs are there. And not only that, the custom commissioner sitting in my house, my residence, she will definitely not appreciate a person coming with 50 liters of wine. कोई मैरिज है क्या घर में, कुछ कैसा प्रॉब्लम है नहीं, तो I don't want it. So I said, I'm not interested, please don't give me this wine, etc. He was very unhappy. He said, okay, surveyor, you do one thing, tomorrow You call your all friends, there's a dinner from my side. Now in Bombay Docks Premi, where I'll get my friends. So I invited surveyors from Geochem, and Boda, HGAs, Inspectorate, all surveyors, those who are doing duties in the docks, I invited them. He said, look, the master of this particular vessel has invited us. And then we were having wine. He was offering us wine. After 3-4 glasses of wine, I asked him, Master, yesterday you were giving me 50 liters wine. Today you are giving it to all my friends, surveyor friends. From where you got this wine? So he said that my last parcel was 5,000 tons of wine. There are 20 crew on board. Every crew is having minimum 50 jerry cans of wine. He had just kept it. So ship can take some cargo. So I have seen a couple of places that they will try to keep cargo in their secret tanks. The theft from docks. Yes, it is also possible. The theft from dock was not a difficult thing. It is easy. The cargo theft from nowadays from Bombay port it has become less. From port it is less, but port to CFS the chances of theft and pilferage has, it is increased by 50 times. More than the port it is not possible. It is CCTV surveillance and lot of controls are there. But from port gate to CFS gate, when it is taking more time, that is the way you can find out. Because nowadays there are no cleaner. There is only single driver. But then such thefts are possible from dock to CFS. Cargo thefts on highways, I have said that yes, the cargo thefts on highways are also possible. In one of the investigation, this maybe as I said, that political system is also not taking too much interest in the combating with this type of thefts. This is what I feel. Skillful pilferage from container. There are various methods. If you Google it, you will get. I could not show in this particular video. The videos cannot be embedded. At least that technology I do not have. Otherwise, if you just Google it, you will get many videos. Skillful cargo thefts. There are many methods. The seals can be tampered. The locks can be opened. There are various smart system by which the lock will remain there only. You see what happens when the container, for example, it is going to Ahmedabad. The seals are given to the driver of the vessel by shipping company. So he is going to Ahmedabad, he stuffs the container, and then the seals are handed over to loading supervisor. Now a smart driver, he is duplicating the seal from say Ulhasnagar or some places where seals can be manufactured with a similar number, similar color code, etc. When he is going to destination, he after stuffing, he is giving duplicate seal to the supervisor. He is not expert in seals. So whatever seals are handed over by driver, he is fixing it on container. So the driver comes out, the tampers with the seals, cut the seal, tampers with the cargo, and then he is fixing original seal. So when the containers are entering, the weight are also adjusted and managed in such a way that if somebody is trying to take weight of seal container, you will not come to know anything. The second method, the driver has become very friendly with the loading supervision because couple of times he has visited that particular place. And then the supervisor is having a lot of faith in the driver. He is asking driver to fix the seal on the container. What he is doing or what the cleaner is doing that time, he takes a cello tape, reverse it in reverse direction. He is fixing it on the male portion of bullet seal, and then it is only inserted. It is not locked. It is not down. So apparently it looks that the seal is adhering inside. It is okay, fine. Comes out, open the seal, tamper with the cargo, and then rifampicin, the cost more than silver. The drug for tuberculosis, the costly, expensive medicines. Such things can be tampered with. Costly cargo, which is having an available market. There is a shortage in Indian market. Such items are pilfered. The third item is very classic and very important, very, 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 very skillful. The seals is fixed at particular place. Now the seal is not touched at all. the bracket, the rod, the container locking rod bracket rivet is knocked out, the handle falls down, he puts a crowbar, turns the handle, seal is intact at that particular place. In this place I have not shown the seal, but then you know that the holes what you can see, the seal is fixed in that particular place. So there should be locking plate, there should be a very close inspection when there is a container you have the doubts about the tampering of the because it is possible from pre-shipment stage. The shipper can be involved in this type of thing. So there has to be there are smart locks available. There are GPS based locks are available. So it can be combated. The person who is more interested to do research and then try to minimize these type of losses. Thank you very much. I have come to the end of this session of maritime frauds. I have tried to discuss on documentary frauds, given a couple of case studies, then the scuttling of ship, the phantom ship, the piracy, the cargo thefts on highways, etc. There are a couple of frauds which I have not discussed because they are not connected with the insurance industry. They are trying to cheat the shipping company, the agents, and that I have not discussed. Chartering frauds I have not discussed. All these contents in this particular video are for general information for the training purpose and use. They do not constitute any advice or should not be relied upon in making or refraining of making any decisions. In case of any omission or discrepancy, informing in original records will be final and binding. It is also not guaranteed that information in this video it is up to date and ultimate. There are changes. The theft and pilferage style will be changed. The piracy, the methods operandi will be changing. So this is not the ultimate information. I have prepared this presentation for education purpose to the best of my knowledge and ability. Thank you. Thank you very much.